All right, Crossroads Sports Radio, the weekend up with update. Myself, Jonathan Birdsong, JB. We didn't have a show last week. I was out on vacation.
Happy holiday.
Still on vacation currently, but I was out of town up in Chicago for the week. But still continuing. But we got NFL, we got college football. Man, the whole craziness, NBA, the association, all that's going on. Where you want to start off at first? Kind of college, NFL. Where are you thinking?
Definitely college, man, because it's such a hot topic. You know what I'm saying, around these parts, man, between, you know what I'm saying, as the college playoffs just started. Well, you know what I'm saying, the bowl season started, you know what I'm saying. So if you know what I'm saying, if you like me and watch Memphis and West Virginia, you know what I'm saying, or watch your little Tulane in Florida, you know what I'm saying, the bowl season is upon us. But no, man, we can just talk about Friday night and how that all jumped off, man. I think I'll let you go first, man, because I probably got a mouthful.
Yeah, Friday night I thought I texted you. I thought it was kind of a boring game.
Sure.
Indiana was outmatched. I felt like it did not help that their quarterback or their coach is out there chirping like he was on College Game Day. Talking about beating other teams' ass that are ranked in the top 25. Did you hear the two teams you talked about? You talked about Nebraska and some other FCS school from back when you were at James Madison. If you match up the Ohio State, and honestly, you think about it, Notre Dame honestly probably took the foot off the gas, which made that a little more respectable game than what it really was. I didn't feel like at all IU was ever in that ball game, and we can sit there and say they were overmatched. We can sit there and say, well, maybe they deserved it. But let's be real. The soft-ass schedule that they had this year, it did not prepare them for this college football playoff, even though they got in. And what it did was it helped the coach's salary, but it didn't help the program. It did not. I'm sorry. It did not, because how it went. And
I like how you said that, Brandon, without dissing the total Big Ten, because listen, y'all, I'm not about to go down the wormhole with you and tell you like why they shouldn't be in, because it's too much Lane Kiffin. That's right, Lane Kiffin crying all weekend to the point that he was retweeting Tennessee. I'm like, dude, who you work for, little brother, man? Like, everybody's in it for themselves. So you bring up a good point. Did their schedule prepare them? I'll give you that bit of a credence, but like as far as, because the schedule didn't really have any outside the Ohio State game, real adversity. Michigan played Michigan real tough, you know what I'm saying, and beat Michigan. But like again, Michigan had quarterback issues all year, you know what I'm saying. But then again, Michigan found a way to beat Ohio State. But that's a whole nother segment, right? But you bring up the second good point, Brandon. I will agree with you on Kirk Cincinnati didn't do himself no favors, man. Like when you get to this point, like you're not on College Game Day where you're playing against Northwestern. This is the playoff that the NCAA, whoever college football system, has put together so that we don't have a total massive like everybody, you know what I'm saying, leaving schools or trying to go to the NFL, and it kind of makes, you know what I'm saying, a school like whoever's in the playoff, you got a chance, you know what I'm saying. But I really don't think he had a second of, like, you know what I'm saying, like what was your second level? What was your second punch, man? You know what I'm saying? After, because again, we must remember, you know what I'm saying, if you're not a football nerd like myself, you know what I'm saying, IU plays better with the lead the whole year. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of their kind of MO. So like once Notre Dame kind of punched them in the mouth, and you're right, offensive line to their defensive line, like they were outmatched, but like Kirk Cincinnati didn't have a secondary plan of knowing that his team could be like, dude, like what did the Ohio State game teach you? Apparently nothing, because you came in with the same kind of cocky little attitude. You know what I'm saying?
For a guy that thinks he's got the biggest freaking set of balls on God's green earth, that thinks he's Mr. Badass, Mr. Machismo, all this, Google me, all this, which I did, and a lot of other people Googled his ass too, and just how pathetic you guys they played. When it's fourth down, you're down by 17, 10 minutes to go in Notre Dame's territory, and you cowardly personify punt the ball. I don't want to hear you talking big and bad anymore. If that's what you're going to do when it comes down to being the game on the line, I don't buy it. He's a fraud. There, I said it.
No, he's not a fraud.
He's a fraud.
They got too many. They got too
He's
many.
all talk. He is all hot air.
They got too
when
many.
it comes down to a game that matters, they can't do the job. He can't coach. He gets out-coached.
This is his first year. You talking?
He's coached for how many years?
Are you talking about James Franklin? Or are you talking about Kurt Signetti?
No, Marcus Freeman's out-coached him. Ran circles around him.
Marcus Freeman did out-coach him. And if you to that
Brian Day out-coached him.
Brian Day did out-coach him. So again, Brandon, like I said, man, this is a learning experience for the coach. They got active troops coming in next. The recruits coming in.
Do they? Because they don't have a quarterback.
Taven Jackson wasn't a quarterback. He was a quarterback for
O'Rourke's gone too.
Listen. I would assume.
Hey, I'm proud of them. They're going to go get this Division II quarterback. That's FCS that's coming in. It's going to be the savior, apparently.
Brandon, I don't know about that. Brandon, you better do. There's going to be another heaping helping of Kurt Signetti. Same time this year.
Absolutely. When you got a puss ass 150th ranked strength of schedule next year, do we need to go through it again? Of course.
I mean, we're
going to be in the same situation again. It's like, oh, you doesn't get the good. Well, look who you've played. You play Kennesaw State next year. You play the Indiana School for the Blind. You play St. Mary's of the Woods.
Who's Ole Miss playing?
These are playing people.
Furman.
That's only one game. I used to put 4 on their schedule. And guess what?
So let's talk about the Weiner real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you're you're positive on that. I'm probably a little bit negative, man. So Ole Miss, you played your Cupcakes and you played Kentucky, right? And you played who else? I know I'm forgetting somebody. You know what I'm saying? There was a chunk. Vanderbilt. You played them, man. So
South Carolina.
They play. Well, hold on, though, man. Like the SEC, we can only give you so much props. The 2 best teams, not 2 best teams. 2 of the 10 best teams play consistently for the past 10 years. Play in the SEC. That's the Georgia program and the Alabama program. Everybody else is living off faded glory. Ed Orgeron ain't there no more in LSU. Brian Kelly is. So, like, again, they gave him a Ferrari, and then at the end of the season, he crashed. Sorry, I mean, better, you know what I'm saying? He crashed it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're not as important anymore. Same thing with you, Ole Miss, little brother, man. Like, you gotta stop whining.
They didn't win their games they needed to.
You can't win. You can't beat a somebody and then next week lose to Tennessee. You can't beat a somebody and then next week lose to Vanderbilt. You can't have cupcakes on your you know what I'm saying, on your you know what I'm saying, kind of to the IU.
And I understand him whining and all, but honestly, let's be real. They weren't even the next team to be in.
That's the funny thing about it, right? They weren't even the next thing to be in, man. So he kind of looks like, so you know what, Brandon, for me, as far as like wherever he's gonna, like, you know what I'm saying, these other jobs.
Florida too. Can't lose to Florida.
He's stuck in Ole Miss. Why would I invite him? Man, where's his loyalty at?
Jonathan Taylor, 70-yard run, touchdown.
Where's his mind at? You need to get your mind prepared for Duke. I hope Duke run the score up on him in their bowl game. I know it.
Let me get out on this soapbox. We'll get off the soapbox because a lot of people are bitching, complaining. Paul Feinbaum, all these others. I noticed a couple others from ESPN and those talking heads. Listen, the 12-team playoff, it's fine. Absolutely. It's fine. We got 12 teams. Guess what? In the sport of football, in the sport of baseball, in the sport of basketball, there's occasionally going to be blowouts. Absolutely. Your goal is to win the game, not win a close game. It's Absolutely. Just a win.
Right.
So there's going to be blowouts, and that's okay because this is college football playoff. The only thing I think you change, and we've talked about it, just don't give the conference champions the buys. Let it be the best 4. Those are the teams that gets buys. And you go from there. It could be an all SEC buys. It could be all Big Ten. It could be big. But you got to reseed it because, as I mentioned, it's not fair the way it looks that way with some of these matchups. But then also, you've got to 12 teams is fine. You don't want to go to 8. No. 12 is fine. There's going to be a blowout here and there. So what? It is what it is. What the travesty is you've got Ohio State taking on Oregon in the Rose Bowl. And even Vegas knows. Vegas has Ohio State as the favorite. As I mentioned to you 2 weeks ago, how is this whole thing even set up and fair for number 1 Oregon? It's not. They play Ohio State, and if they win, they most likely got to play Texas.
People thought Tennessee was going to be Ohio State. Let's just be honest.
By the way,
I know. No, I went with Ohio State.
5-0 on our pick 'em.
Yeah. I'm not necessarily 5-0. I think I'm 4. I might be 4-1.
Yeah, you are.
So we're surviving in that regard. I think people you can't say it's unfair because it was going to be a Big Ten team. No, the committee tried to avoid having a Big Ten team play another Big Ten team in the first round. I kind of respect that. Again, they don't need to go to no more other teams like, you know what I'm saying, French teams or whatever. I do still respect the conference champions. I see why you do have a point, but I still respect the conference champions get a bye. I think folks are going to have issue. They're going to cry foul and want a neutral site going in the future. They want to have a neutral site where you
That's
play.
what I was going to ask you. Should you go neutral sites for first rounds now too? Just keep everything neutral?
No. I like, hey man, what if? I know crazy. What if Ball State? I'll just throw it out there. Has that one crazy season like they had with Nate Davis back. What year was that? 2005?
2008. I was there.
Right? What if Ball State? Wouldn't it be great if a Ball State had to host an Alabama? I mean, I know it's crazy. It's crazy for us to be talking about a 12-team playoff. But wouldn't it be crazy that how much revenue that they would get if a Notre Dame, whoever, a big-time school program went down there to Muncie Town or wherever, you know what I'm saying, to us.
But see, I don't think that's the case, John, because think about it like this. And you have a good point, but I want you to think about the other side of it. Muncie Schumann Stadium only holds 16,000, 17,000 people, while going to a neutral field, you can get your 40,000, 50,000 where you can actually get more revenue from ticket sales.
Yeah,
you're only going to get 6,000, 7,000 in there.
Right. Well, right. And that's something that's something like, one, they got to get their program up. Right. You know what I'm saying? They got, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure Tanner.
That's why you can't host.
Tanner's not, well, no.
You're limited revenue.
IU probably would.
If you ask Ball State, they would not want to host. They would rather go to a neutral field where they're going to get more revenue from ticket sales.
So in your mind, you're saying they're gonna come to Lucas Oil, probably. That's what they would do. The closest stadium.
Probably what they would probably do. The NCAA college football playoff. They'd probably do regional sites where.
I damn near thought that South Bend, Bloomington, y'all should have had that in the Circle City. Could you imagine?
I'm glad they didn't. I'd probably be at work.
Well, no, that'd have been a hot mess. But yesterday's, Friday night's game, man, yeah. But like, no, yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
But if you're really struck about revenue for like a Ball State, so you got to play it at a neutral site. Even though it'd be cool to have it at home, but
right,
8,000 people, 9,000 people max. Right. Shit, that's whole Alabama's fan base, let alone their band, maybe.
It'd be a sea of red.
It would be. Crimson, not our red.
What you think about some of the other games, in particularly?
Yeah, I thought Penn State showed off, man. I thought they would easily rout SMU. Their defense showed up. Their offense, I thought, looked great. Yeah, I just Franklin, I thought he did a good job that game. Now this is where it's going to get a little trickier for him because they go against Boise, where you're picked to win. You're an 11-point favorite this week going into the game. You were a 9-point against SMU. Now you're 11 against Boise. This is probably where the butthole gets a little more puckered for James Franklin, just a little bit, because they're expecting him to win, but they have the easiest route to the Final Four.
I think the kid Genty gonna show us a lot. Now, I still favor Penn State in that game, but I think the kid Genty gonna show us a lot. The quarterback for Penn State, you know what I'm saying, he just kind of got out of his team's way, Brandon. He did enough in the second half to say he had a good game, but my goodness, in the first half, like he was like, I was like, dude, Penn State can't get offense. Like the defense scored all the touchdowns. You know what I mean? So when the rubber meets the road, man, if Penn State can't get past the Boise, like when they play one of these super elite teams with better quarterback play and better defensive play, man, good luck. But you know what I'm saying? Seems like the stars are aligned for James Franklin right now.
The other game, Clemson and Texas, I got to see scores on it last night. I had a family thing last night, so I was kind of watching the score of that. But looked like they kind of handled them fairly easy because they had a big lead on them. I think Clemson got within 7 in the third or so.
Brandon, more so self-implosions, man, more so penalties. What what Dabo Swinney doesn't have right now, he has talent. But remember, man, he didn't raid the NILs, so he doesn't have a whole lot of super mature 23, 20. You know what I mean? Some of these dudes is long in two on some of these rosters, right? We know this, right? Shout out to Ken Rising. But like some of these dudes are long in two on these rosters. But he has a little, somewhat immature team sometimes can be. And I'm not saying that, you know what I mean, they just unfocused penalties. You know what I'm saying? Guy, like they had a chance to tie the game. You know, and you know you get in these critical situations with it. Okay, this is where I would give an SEC team its pride, like a Georgia, like a Texas, like Alabama. You ain't gonna sit up there and score 3 and think you're gonna win the game. You know what I'm saying? So they had some red zone issues. They had somebody trying to get some get back, that kind of penalty. You know what I'm saying? They were in that game, but again, once like Kirk, like Dabo, they would swing and score and punch back, Texas would be right back on it. But again, man, Quinn Ewers, dude, Arch played a little. Don't get it twisted, man. If it was me, I probably would have had Arch playing a long time ago because he's the better quarterback. Quinn Ewers played he played a polished game though. I won't, you know what I'm saying? He kept.
Ewers gonna be a Big Ten quarterback next year.
Who's that?
Ewers will be a Big Ten quarterback next year.
Damn, he can't come back. Though how?
You got another year?
No, man, he can't come back to the Big Ten. You left the Big Ten already, buddy. Coach might need it.
Ohio State, Tennessee. That was the get right game for Ohio State. Listen, all week I kept seeing photos and everything talk about Neyland North. By the time we got home last night, the game was getting ready. The game was starting. By the time we got the dogs, all that stuff, I turned on the TV. They were already down 21-0. I said, "What the hell?"
I watched the pregame. They had the people out there with the microphones and whatnot doing pregame. Man, these folks drove up from Knoxville, right? Had their shirts off. Hey, Brandon was talking about how cheap the tickets was. And like this is like a game going. I told you, man. They said this is like a game at Vandy's. I can't believe these seats these tickets are so cheap. They thought that the volunteers that did, and I do respect that. You got to respect the fandom. They drove up there, you know what I'm saying, to see that route happen. Just wasn't ready. They couldn't stop defensive penetration. Their quarterback had no time to throw. So and the homie, what's his name? Coach. For the balls.
Heupel.
Yeah. Heupel. He was over there, you know what I'm saying, looking at his clipboard like, dude, you ain't got no more plays. You ain't got no more people that can, you know what I'm saying, that can come off that bench, man.
T. Martin ain't coming out there.
Yeah, man. Right, damn, yeah, T. Martin ain't coming out there. So nah, man, that was the shock of our. But like, man, again, Brandon, if we rewind any of our audios or shows, man, we said both of us said Ohio State is the best team in America, and right now, you know what I'm saying, when the season first started, and right now, man, they played like it. They showed y'all what a Big Ten team.
Here's our sheet. I wrote this on episode 1 during our preview. This was our picks.
I said Ohio State. I still think the final game. Here's what I say, Brandon. Oregon has showed me something through the course of the season, so this is gonna be a Titanic game. Don't get it twisted, right? So some say this is like your national. This is a national championship game, like, you know what I'm saying. But they've already played one another. You know what I'm saying. So this is the.
How do you feel about this game? The fact that Ohio State's 2.5-point favorites, and I know me and you both picked Oregon to win the championship.
Oregon has gotten, yeah.
And even though our picks here, we both had Ohio State. Here's my thing, John. When we're going into our pick'em for when we do this next week, I'm kind of leaning Ohio State because Oregon there's a lot of chinks in that armor. But maybe Landon's going to get him coming out pissed off. Hey, we're 2.5-point dogs. Are you kidding me? We're the number 1 team in the country.
But because he's very charismatic.
Yeah.
And he's not only he's very charismatic, he's also like he knows the X's and O's. He knows how to clock manage. Like, Brandon, he's arguably a better coach than Ryan Day.
Oh.
He arguably has a better quarterback than Howard. You know what I'm saying? Gabriel's a better quarterback.
Right.
The Ohio State, when agitated, they have some playmakers, as everybody kind of saw yesterday, man. This is gonna be a great game, man. Brandon, I'm not gonna. I know my pick says Ohio State, man. I just don't be surprised if Oregon beats them.
What do you expect with Notre Dame and Georgia? Because when I saw the 1.5 spread that came out with Georgia minus 1.5, I thought that was too much, not enough. I had them kind of at 3.5, 4. Because I do think Georgia is a different level than Notre Dame.
Just a tad. We're gonna, even with their quarterback not going to play. Defensively, they will probably take Riley Leonard out of this game.
The guy's going to have a month to get ready, the backup. So,
yeah. So, but the offensive line play, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Again, Notre Dame, once you get in scoring position, you got to put it in. They're going to have to put it in the end zone and not rely on. They got a good special teams, not rely on field goals, you know what I'm saying? Because the homie Kirby Smart, he ain't about that life. He ain't about you let him hang around. He will find a way to score points. This is probably Notre Dame's best opportunity in the long time, since a long time, right? To get to the national championship game.
Yep.
They got a strong enough defense. If they can just clock manage and run the ball. But again, I don't know, Brandon. I think the Georgia defense is gonna figure out Riley Leonard real fast.
Yeah, I think so. You're given basically a month of prep, and Kirby and the boys they've studied Notre Dame, they studied Indiana, so I think they feel pretty confident. Notre Dame's got a hell of a run game. Their defense is pretty good as well, but Georgia, man, I don't know that when people thought they'd be dead, they came back and they've won games. Georgia Tech game, they won in 7 overtimes or 8 overtimes, whatever it was. Yeah. I just think 1.5, I thought was strange. That was just that number. Now, when we do our show, it may change by the time we do our picks next week,
right?
For those games. So there's possibility, but I'm interested to see how that. At the other one, Texas and Arizona State. Texas is a 14-point favorite right now, a 2-touchdown favorite. If you were asking me right now and pick them to take whoever, I would take Arizona State plus the 14. I think 14 points is too much.
I really would too.
Way too much.
Arizona State's a little bit more high-power offense than Clemson. They don't necessarily have they don't necessarily have an untarnished record, right? You know what I'm saying? Playing that wacky Big 12, but man, they can put 40 up on you.
Mm-hmm.
Evan Kidd is, you know what I'm saying, the transfer from Michigan State. I don't know how the hell he got away from Michigan State. But, man, he's ready to kind of show and prove what he can do. Texas does have a decent – but maybe – I'm not saying they got exposed, but maybe kind of got exposed in the Clemson game. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really think Clemson was going to be able to throw as well as they did. Klubnik, man, you got to stop hating on Klubnik. Brandon Reed. But man, he was able to throw on him. I think Levitt is a better quarterback than Klubnik, man. Even though, you know what I'm saying, one's a little bit more seasoned than the other. Could definitely be a high scoring game. You talking about 14. Like Texas was on the verge of losing that game. The only reason why they didn't is because Clemson, you know what I'm saying, couldn't keep up with them offensively. Had to, you know what I'm saying, was set up a field goals. So yeah, I would take the 14 in Arizona State too.
By the way, I'm a little sour because my fantasy football, I'm in the semifinals, and I have a good shot at winning and upsetting the number 2 team. And I had Jalen Hurts, and that dude goes out with a concussion in the first quarter. So I have to sit here and watch Kenny Pickett's ass come out here and try to throw a football. I did get a little smile when I saw he threw a pick. Steelers-Ravens yesterday, John, it kind of went how I thought it would. I didn't think we'd have a chance to win that game. We had a chance, but I just didn't think we'd win that game. I figured that Baltimore would get theirs. We've won 8 straight. They needed to win 1. They clinched the playoff spot. Listen, division is still Steelers to lose, even though they're tied. The Steelers can win out, and it's over. They win it. It's going to be tough because Wednesday night or Wednesday at noon, Christmas Day, they're going to play Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs, which I know you keep saying that the Chiefs are going to get that loss to the Steelers, John, but I don't know, man.
That's a lot of football that they got the guys playing in a short amount of time. I'm kind of concerned at it from that regard. I don't really have a whole lot of NFL tap in just yet because today it being Sunday, right? It's kind of wild. The biggest kind of drama story is Aaron Rodgers versus versus Ryan Clark. To kind of go back and forth with those.
Have you watched his show on Netflix yet?
Who, Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
No.
He looked high as hell. He was on some psychedelics.
I mean, he admitted to taking mushrooms and whatnot for healing or something whatnot, man.
Hey,
so,
what would you, if you were an NFL GM, how much would you offer for Justin Fields next year?
You talking about as far as like a trade or like as far as like what they're gonna pay him?
Well, they're gonna pay him. He's a free agent. He will have a market next year. Would you pay 14, 15 mil?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would he stay around as the backup? You know what I'm saying? Or are they going, or is Russ leaving? I think Russ is staying around.
Russ doesn't want to leave. I just don't know if the Steelers are going to want to pay, but I think they've.
Oh, he probably won't. He'll probably, you know what? There's a change of blowing, Brandon. Change of already in Miami. There's change they're talking about, like they're getting rid of the coach.
What about Atlanta? Kirk Cousins, the homie's already out.
Dude, that's a mess. Dude, listen, man, I love podcasting.
Hope he paid cash.
I love podcasting, but I would love being the general manager of a daggone NFL, NBA team, because like some of these dudes be making the most ridiculous moves. Again, why did you bring Kirk? You brought Kirk Cousins over from Atlanta, Minnesota, but then you also drafted Penix Jr., who got his own injury issues himself, right?
Yeah.
And he's a little bit older, man, which I ain't got no problem with. But like, man, there's a couple hot messes going on. You know what I'm saying, from a drama standpoint. Other than that, though, I was able to tap into some basketball yesterday. College basketball, man. The homie Mike Lewis got a good victory against Evansville. Indiana State rolled. They rolled somebody 40 plus. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the IU Indy Jaguars. They came a little up short against Florida, but you know what I'm saying. They again, that program's building on to bigger, better things. Who else? Butler. That's who I want to talk about. Your homie was there, man.
He ain't my homie.
Your homie Danny Hurley
was bitching about us.
Talking about Crossroads Sports. Talking about podcasters who live in their mama's basement. Oh well, did you see the pipes? Was that a dead giveaway? Was that a dead giveaway?
I don't think it's your mama's house, but come on now.
Yeah, it's my house. But like, nah, man. Against Butler, man. Probably best game Butler played all season, even though they lost. Just didn't necessarily have enough offensive firepower. The kid that got away from Indiana, the McNeely kid, Liam McNeely kid, man. Brandon, he's a player, dude. He's a baller. Yeah. Now, does that mean he should probably go to lottery next year? I would say no. There's still some development with that, but he's gonna be one and done. But he put up him and this other kid.
McNeely and Mullins in the back or in the front court.
Man, that would be illegal. That would be illegal. Him and Mullins together next year would be illegal, man. But like, nah, man, that was Butler played as hard as they could. They, they kept it, tough. Butler basketball, defensive rebounding and getting after it. Just not necessarily enough offensive firepower. I think they went 5 for 15. I don't know. I ain't got the stats in front of me. They three pointers was not knocking down yesterday, but they made up for it at the free throw line, but just not necessarily enough to get the dub. I don't particularly have a whole lot to say about Purdue and Auburn, other than
that was rough.
Hey man, it ain't just Duke and UConn and who's also probably a favorite to be in the Final Four. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just them two. Man, Auburn got a squad and
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That you got these guys play defense. These guys block shot. They got rim protection. They got offense. I mean, they got at least 3 or 4 guys that can kind of score, go off for you. But like, man, Auburn is that deal. It wasn't necessarily that Purdue played necessarily outside themselves, man. The homie Cove, I don't necessarily like being over, you know what I'm saying, on young players, but the homie Colvin was a net negative yesterday. 22 minutes and 0 points, kind of concerning. And then backcourt play from Purdue was not there with Lawyer and the homie. So, but like, no, man, they get the back. Purdue get the back on it. But like, man, that's the kind of like local report with the schools here around here. You got to keep on winning. Some of the, you know what I'm saying, some of the mid-majors, like Butler, like Indiana State, like Ball State, they got to keep on winning, you know what I'm saying, because, you know what I'm saying, all that, when the tournament committee comes, kind of chiming up people's names and whatnot, if you ain't got, you know what I'm saying, good quality wins in the month of December, January, you know what I'm saying, going into February, like, you know what I'm saying, they ain't going to call your number unless you win your tournament. So,
Tell me a little bit about, and he was more during your era, but I was able to watch him play some towards the end of his career. But
right.
Ricky Henderson.
No, the great Ricky Henderson. Dude, I didn't know he was 65. I thought he was a little older than that.
That's what I thought.
But like, no, man, they said kind of unexpectedly. I haven't necessarily delved totally into, like, I don't necessarily do that, like cause of death and all that and whatnot. But like, not kind of unexpectedly, man. Definitely, you know what I'm saying, a Hall of Fame great. Brandon, all these dudes played a little bit too long. His best years definitely with the Oakland A's. And that's when he was basically kind of just like doing what he wanted to do. He would get a hit and just start walking around. Not walking, but literally, you know what I'm saying, start feeling.
Right.
I think he was on the team with Canseco. Not that that's the kind of, like, you know, Ricky Henderson never got caught in no controversy or anything like that. But like, no, man, the great Ricky Henderson passed away yesterday at age 65. Like I said, if you want to see good tape, great tape on how to steal a base, you know what I'm saying, and how to, you know what I'm saying, because, like, man, we all know baseball ain't necessarily all about the long ball, unless, you know what I'm saying, unless you're talking about the Dodgers who got every, you know what I'm saying, every power player, and, you know what I'm saying, that they got, right, except for the homie Judd. But like, no, man, Ricky Henderson, man, like I said, rest in peace, man. He was like, you want to see some great quality tape on baseball, like how to maneuver and how to get across, you know what I'm saying, manage the base, not necessarily be a great home run hitter. That would be looking at tape, check out the tape of Ricky Henderson. But like I said, gone too soon. Ricky Henderson, rest in peace.
Pacers, good win against at Phoenix when you take on a Kevin Durant type squad. They got the Kings tonight.
Oh, no respect.
They go to the Warriors on Monday, and then they got the Thunder right after break or Christmas. So
that'd be nice if they could beat the Thunder. I'm not necessarily looking over those other games. You know what I'm saying? But they need to get a quality win against somebody. You know what I'm saying? The Thunder was in the cup. I know they didn't win it, but I mean, this is a good. It seems like, from listening to what Coach Carlisle was saying, is that, you know what I'm saying, they really do depend on their rotation of players.
Mm-hmm.
And they be getting as them hards, you know what I'm saying, potentially, you know, coming back with more minutes and whatnot, and as they get the other homie who's, you know what I'm saying, who's out right now, get him to come back and get into rotation, man. The Pacers are back to when they're winning ways, are rattling off, you know what I'm saying, 4 or 5 games. You know what I'm saying? They got to get to this, 40, you know what I'm saying? I said 44 games, and like right now, they was on the pace to win 35. You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't want to be in the doldrums of the East, even though the East ain't necessarily what it, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the 9th best team and have to play in a play-in scenario. So, you know, especially after you didn't spoil the fans, you know, or give not necessarily spoil, but gave the fans a taste of like what it could be, you know what I'm saying, with this special team from last year. So I like what I've seen out of them, you know what I'm saying? More aggressive Tyrese Halliburton, the Thomas Bryant trade, Brandon Reef is lose his mind about, you know what I'm saying, him coming over. But like, no, man, they seem like they get some of all their pieces back together, and then, like I said, they get back to their winning ways.
Give me your top 3 Christmas movies.
Die Hard.
Man, 1, 2, or 3.
I don't really watch Christmas movies, man. I watch all those Christmas specials. I think I told you before. I watch every Christmas special. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Santa Claus is coming to town. Christmas in July with Rudolph. I watch all the cartoons. You already know that. Die Hard is still an action movie, so you can technically watch it anytime, but it's a Christmas movie, right? This Christmas, you know what I'm saying, with Chris Brown. I do believe he's in. I think he's there. I do believe. And then any of the Christmas Carol movies with Scrooge, the one with Bill Murray, classic.
Yeah.
But it really any of them. Christmas Carol, you know what I'm saying? I love it.
Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else I have on my list. You got anything on yours while I'm looking through mine?
Nah, man. I know. I got church, man. They said, man, we you know what I'm saying, we fell by the wayside on our racing. You know what I'm saying, talk over the summer.
What racing going on?
Well, I'm talking over the summer. Somebody said, hey, man, I thought y'all talked about racing. I said, well, ain't no wrestling going on right now, but they were kind of talking about some of our past episodes. But we'll get when wrestling get back to going, we get to talk about it, I guarantee you.
If you were the Lions offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, he's intrigued by the Bears. Would you leave the Lions to go take the head coaching gig there in Chicago?
I mean, quarterbacks. I mean, the quarterback's good. He's got to figure out like the other pieces of like why the Bears stink. You know what I'm saying?
There were so many upset Bears fans when I was up there. I was talking to some at different places.
Yeah,
they ain't blaming Caleb yet, which is good.
Yeah, Eberflus didn't do. I don't know. Is he ever
or Pace? Those are the ones they're bitching at.
They bitching at the general manager.
They want him gone.
Damn, we just got there.
That's what I said. I was at one of the bars. The guy told me, yeah.
Damn, let him cook.
They said 3 of them said, yeah, he's got to go. The Pace has got, or Poles has got to go. I said, he just got there. I mean, they're down 34-17 right now, but
they got to find if Pace ain't a good team builder, then he probably does need to go. But they got to find a good way to build up their team. You have a quarterback that's capable. You know what I'm saying? You got to find, you know what I'm saying, those kind of players that can, you know what I'm saying, enrich his talent. If he ain't got enough time to throw, who's his running back? Who's his tight end? You know me, like, you know what I'm saying? You should be. Hopefully they scout none of them tight ends they had at Penn State, because them suckers look good. Or some of them defensive guys they got at Penn State. But no, man, that's kind of all I got, man. You know, good Sunday.
Sounds good, my man. Enjoy your rest of your day. Everybody have a great Christmas, John. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Happy holidays.